Somebody else coming? That's okay.
Yeah. So gonna do this?
Yeah. Hi everybody. Another overnighter with my buddy Matt today. We're going along the coast of Lake Superior, and we're going to be talking about the fur trade, Voyageurs and Coureur de Bois. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit of fun. We're going to head to our fun campsite in Superior and have a good old time. So see you folks there.
Oh, you're gonna have a lot of editing to do on this one.
No, it's all good, man.
Start.
Oh. Woo. Well, made it to our campsite. It's about noon right now. Looks like we have some visitors here. It looks great here. It's clean. Benches were moved around. And the fire pit's looking pretty good. I'm not showing the frame, but that's okay. How long do you think it took us to get in here? An hour maybe, or?
Yeah, I mean we stopped a few times.
We did, yeah.
Took pictures of this and pictures of that, right?
Yeah. And Matt's been looking at mushrooms along the way.
Yeah,
All sorts of mushrooms along the way. It's falls along the way, or almost fall, so a lot of humidity and leaves and pine needles on the ground. But yeah, we're on the coast here today. You know, besides just the camp, we're going to talk about the Voyageurs. We both are French Canadian heritage, so very likely some of our ancestors were involved in the fur trade. So I think that's pretty cool. We can talk about it, especially being on Lake Superior right here. Like we're somewhere where history was made, and the Voyageurs were traveling along these shores. And yeah, it's pretty exciting. And when we can actually be around the history, like, I don't know, if you're from Northern Ontario, you hear about knights and cowboys and stuff in history, but that's not here. But then when you hear about like the Voyageurs and stuff, they were here, it's like, it seems more real to me. Maybe we're gonna talk about all about with you folks and have a good old camp out. I have some cool food to show you folks, and some props that I got to borrow from the Hermitinger Clerg Old Stone House Heritage Site, which thanks guys, I really appreciate that. But anyways, we're gonna set up camp before we really get through ourselves. I got a hammock today. Matt's got his, you got a tent, eh?
Yeah, got my little tent, man.
You got a new sleeping pad, a few pieces of gear to try out? Yeah.
Sit down.
So we'll catch up in a little bit, but it's gonna be a good day. All right. I love it, man.
huh?
Point like a taliga.
Yeah. That's the pet I was talking about, bud.
So I may feel tough camping in the woods in a tent or hammock. And you know, most people don't do it, but in the time of the Voyageurs, a lot of the guys, unless they were a manager sort, they were just the very good paddling guys, they slept under the canoe. Imagine doing that during black fly season. Whew. That's alright, I'm fine with my tents and hammocks.
You can take that part out.
I like sleeping in a hammock.
I came here like it's the perfect time.
Oh, that's good.
Things I wish I wasn't.
Yeah. Brittany's little brother, he's got like a size 17 foot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he has to like go, they have to go to the States to get shoes because he can't find them in town.
Really, eh?
Yeah. Big boy.
Yeah.
Oh, so close. All right, time to test it out. It's September, and this is the first night I'm gonna be sleeping in a hammock. It's just not right. Oh yeah, I miss this. Oh, I better get up before I fall asleep. So Brittany was kind enough to lend me her mattress because mine, the repair job I did on it for our last trip didn't quite hold up and it had a slow leak, so I ended up having to use like a tarp clamp to like pinch where the seam was where it was leaking so it wouldn't leak, and it was okay, but I thought this time I better use Brittany's because it's new and it doesn't have a hole in it yet. But anyways, yeah. She's got, I've owned one of these ones for a while. It's like Climate. Climate Insulated Static V. I think it's like R3 point something. R4.4. Wow. But anyways, I'm excited to try it out. She liked it. Wow. Now I do want a little air of it because I'm in a hammock. I'm not going to be flat. I want it to form to the hammock. That should be good. This is mostly just to keep me warm. The hammock's comfy enough on its own, but we have a frost warning for tonight because the fall's coming, and I want to make sure I don't get cold from underneath. Tonight I have Hot Core R200, and this thing is rated to -10 Celsius. So it'll definitely be good if we get down to freezing tonight. Last piece of kit to go in there. Label pillow. Go.
Well, we're all set up there now. Tents and hammocks. Hanging out together. World peace is achievable. Imports from Louisiana.
Yeah, well, yeah. So we're having some lunch right now, and I don't know if you folks saw the video I put out with Brittany there, that last series. But we had dehydrated hummus, and I talked all about it, but I didn't show you guys it. So I have some left over, and Matt and I are going to have some for lunch. So if anybody hasn't heard of hummus, I mean, it's basically ground up chickpeas with ground up sesame seeds and seasoning. And Brittany and I made this at home, and then we dehydrated it at home, and then turned it into powder in a food processor. And I like it because you can just add water. You don't have to heat it up or anything. You just add water, mix it up, let it sit for a little bit, and it goes back to its normal consistency, which is super awesome for lunches. Yeah, let me grab the goods here. I want a spoon for mixing. Mixing cup, and then go a bag of hummus. Oh yeah. Hey. Or a little bit up. actually bring her up.
Don't put that one in there.
Right about here. There we go. Perfect. Thanks, man. This stuff is precious because I made it at home. A little more. There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
Alright, so got a little bit in the cup here. You kind of I do it by feel. Ooh, we're gonna rip a lot of hummus. Just a smidge more. Normally hummus has olive oil in it. It adds a nice velvety texture to it, but you can't dehydrate fats, so I add my olive oil in afterwards. Let me see. Oh, and we have some nice flatbread, naan bread to be putting it on. Alright, olive oil. Okay, now I'm gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes just to get a little bit nicer of a texture. And it's good to go.
And watch out for those sea creatures.
It's gonna be a mystery.
I do need to focus. Can you squat down for a second there? That's how low we'll have to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what if we stand right here?
You're smart.
Oh.
You're smart.
How close are they?
Yeah. Oh. There we go.
Now you gotta be careful for the mountain man. Don't let them get you.
You ever told you there's mountain man up in those hills? So, since I said we're going to talk about the Voyageurs, did a lot of reading about it. And it wasn't planned out, but we have this dried hummus out, which is dried peas. And when I started doing some reading about the Voyageurs, I found out they had a food called ruabou, or ruabou, and it was dried peas. And they made like a pea soup out of it. We don't really have a pea soup, we have a pea spread, but I think there's some comparison there, which is kind of neat. And maybe the boys in the birch bark canoes, when they came by here, would enjoy the same food. It's a lot of garlic in it. Might be a little spicy for the time though.
No, it's good, man.
Garlic is good. Puts hair in your chest.
Avoid vampires.
It does. It does.
Same.
Nobody likes vampires. Problem vampires.
Yeah.
Well, you hungry? I'm hungry. Let's have some ruabou. You got a lot of hummus.
Oh man, that's good too.
The bread is more of a vessel to eat the hummus than anything. constitute nicely. Thick.
That's alright. Feel like a sandwich.
Okay.
That's good, man.
It's nice. It has protein and fat in it. Like,
Trying to feed the bears. That's all.
I might have had too much water.
Yeah. It's alright.
Well, we finished our hummus slash boogaboo, and it seems to be a cold front coming across the lake towards us.
Yeah, man.
Speaks for the unpredictability. Things just kind of happen. So we're going to gather some wood. I think we're probably going to have to head further inland to find some dead maples or something like that, because there's been quite a bit of wave activity on the lake, and there's no driftwood.
Nope.
Oh, I'm spoiled. I don't know what to do now.
Yeah.
I have to use my saw.
Or the axe.
Or the axe. All right, we're gonna head on in there though, and yeah, I'm sure we'll find some nice dry wood though. There's all sorts of maples, little ones that didn't make it, didn't survive from the mature canopy of the larger maples. This wasn't meant to be.
Did I hear something?
Got the 90s stealth over here.
Oh no, must have just been my imagination.
You didn't even see it coming.
Look, I can't see. Looking up.
So it's been very wet recently. Lots of rain, typical September weather. We're trying to find some nice dry wood here. A lot of the stuff laying flat on the ground is no good. There are a lot of maples that are dead there, just about to fall over, so. Hey, we got one right here. Oh, never mind.
Hold on.
This one goes right here. Not that. What is it? Yeah, that's a dead branch. Got my dropper.
Okay. Oh, watch out.
It would have hit the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
You think it'd be easier just to bring the long logs over there? Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. Instead of making you do all those trips of those little ones there, it's...
To be honest, I think that did pretty good, man. Here, Boosh, I made one right here.
There we go.
That's not fun.
That's a little too bouncy? Oh yeah. Yeah, I was gonna bring a real flint like the rock and steel.
Yeah.
To hit, because you know, kind of voyageur-y. But I learned from some reenactors that by the time the voyageurs were here, matches were in common use.
Oh really?
Yeah. I think of matches being modern, but I guess they've been around. Probably since guns have been around.
Oh, probably. Well, look at Clint when he lights his cigarette up and to light his cigar, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's probably after the Voyageurs too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Let's see here. I'll squish it up.
Oh, she'll light, man.
I think so.
She'll light. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, buddy. That's it. Yeah. Shit, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Drop it.
Oh man, that's burning good, Brenda. That's burning good. Oh, that goes a little too long. Oops. That's alright, that's alright. It'll burn right in the middle, cut it in half, and then we'll just throw the rest in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's cut in that way at least.
Yeah. That's what's nice about stuff like that, you know? That's how you make fire. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Somebody built a nice wood wall fire pit.
They did.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man.
Here, Boosh. Oh, thanks, boss. Some roo-boo. That's a good idea. So we're getting all settled into camp now. And we're having our 3 fingers ration of rum right now. Otherwise known as citrus vodka and iced tea mix. But yeah, we got the fire, all our wood set up, shelters are set up. We're good to go. We got our beer bag ready to rock once it starts getting a little bit darker. And I think it's time to talk about the Voyageurs and the fur trade in Northern Ontario. But first I gotta make this cocktail. Well, I suppose before we talk about the Voyageurs and the Coureur de Bois and the fur trade in general, I should probably explain why it's important to Canadian history. Well, before, some folks may know that Canada is part of the British Commonwealth, but before Britain claimed ownership of Canada, the French were here, and obviously before the French, First Nations were here. The French came here and they were looking originally for fishing, but then they decided to look for more resources in the New World. In order for explorers to get funding, they had to prove that they're going to find gold or something like that. There was kind of a gold frenzy at first when people came over, they're looking for that, but then as the French began to communicate with the First Nations in the St. Lawrence waterway, they discovered there was quite a bounty of furs in the area. At the time, furs were used for all sorts of fashion in Europe, and there was a high demand. So because of this, the French explorers, Coureur de Bois, decided to set out North America through all the rivers and tributaries from the Great Lakes. And ultimately they ended up going all the way down to Louisiana along the Mississippi River. But a big part of the reason why Canada is the size it is because of the fur trade. Those initial boundaries were made really important to Canadian history. I mean, French-Canadian heritage. If folks ever been to Quebec, you know it's different cultures, and I think that's really important. And So yeah, Matt and I are here, we're camping out, talking about the fur trade because it's pretty darn cool. So who were the Voyageurs and who were the Coureurs de Bois? Coureurs de Bois tended to be more of the adventurers that explored New France earlier on in its development. There were people like Etienne Brulé who went around exploring but also collecting furs and trading. Later on, in 1681, French government from France put an edict in to control the distribution and trade of furs in North America. And when that happened is that individual explorers and operators, such as Coureurs de Bois, became pretty much criminals. Get charged for trading without a license and such. So they became voyageurs, and voyageurs were people who worked in the fur trade, but typically for companies, and they were licensed. Sure, the people that worked with canoes in the Hudson's Bay Company and Northwest Company would have been voyageurs, where if somebody was working kind of in the black market at that time, they would have been more Coureurs de Bois. So the term kind of changes throughout our history. So anyways, I got a costume on right now, or at least the best costume I could get out of my closet. And I think really the real money part of it is the sash I have right now. And this is the sort of the sash that the Voyageurs and Coureurs de Bois would be using. And they look pretty cool, I like it. Keeps your pants up. It serves a lot of purposes. There's a lot of history behind it. This sash was awesomely lent to me by the people at the Old Stone House. Super cool. Thank you folks very much. If anybody's visiting Sault Ste. Marie and they want to look into the fur trade and the history of the area, it's an awesome place to start. I like it there a lot. But anyways, this sash serves a few purposes. So, of course, it's stylish. It looks awesome. You can keep your coats closed if they have an opening here with it as well. Another thing is the Voyageurs carried a lot of weight. They had 90-pound packs of furs they had to carry over portages, and usually had to carry 2 at a time. So hernias, compressed discs, all sorts of injuries from lifting were very common. And this thing actually looks like a weight belt. Kind of see it covers the wide area, you can tighten it up. Get nice there. Imagine having a hernia and not be able to go see the doctor. Pulling a muscle, not going to see the chiro. Something like this helped a little bit at least. So I think it's cool they've left their mark in Canadian history and heritage, and they have the roots in the fur trade. And one interesting thing to note is that this style of weaving, it's a type of finger weaving, didn't exist in France at the time. When people were coming from France to New France, Canada. So what they discovered is it's very similar to the way wampum belts are made by First Nations in eastern North America. So what they figured out is that First Nations on the East Coast along the St. Lawrence waterway taught this technique to the new settlers in New France, and they transferred it over to making these Sentier de Flash arrowed sashes. Now if I bring it up closer, you can see why it's called an arrowed sash. The pattern on here is quite interesting. You can see all the arrows. It's an intricate design. There we go. This covering of the lower back, kind of like a weightlifter's belt. So the Voyageurs, a lot of them hailed from Montreal, and in Montreal they're treated as folk heroes. They were songs were sung about them, stories were told. And because of that, the job was very coveted. It was a very prestigious job to have, even though it was kind of a blue-collar job for the time. So although the job was very prestigious and a lot of people wanted to do it, in reality it was a grueling, hard job.
The Voyageurs typically were up at 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning. They were on the lake by 5, no breakfast, sometimes 8 a.m. Around there they'd stop for a quick breakfast. Lunch was typically just eaten on the go. A few pieces of pemmican, which is dried meat with berries and fat. So their lives were pretty hard. I mean, unless you were an official for the Hudson's Bay Company or something, you were sleeping under the canoe. You didn't have a tent. You were under the big 20-foot canoe pile around. And a lot of voyageurs met their end with hernias in the middle of nowhere. It's a very dangerous job. But I think I have one quote here from apparently from a retired voyageur, and it was taken by a gentleman. Let me see his name. James Baker, in his novel Lake Superior from 1930 something. I don't have it written down. I have it written down, but it's 1930 something. I can tell you that. So he interviewed a retired voyageur, and this is what he had to say about his job. I could carry, paddle, walk and sing with any man I ever saw. I've been 24 years a canoe man and 41 years in service. No portage was ever too long for me. 50 songs I could sing. I have saved the lives of 10 voyageurs. I've had 12 wives and 6 running dogs. I spent all of my money in pleasure. Were I young again, I would spend my life the same way over. There is no life so happy as a voyageur's life. So from what it sounds like to me, is a rough but rich life. I'm happy with one life though. Mayday! Mayday! Mayday!
Crisis averted?
I think so, bud.
Okay.
I got her. I don't really see like any cracks in there either.
No way.
No.
So we just had a rock blow up in this fire pit. There's been recent renovations to it. Bit out up and back. Looks very nice. I like it. A little bit of windbreak. But there's some fresh rocks and apparently they have some moisture in them. Probably from the creek. Well, I thought we'd keep in the French Canadian theme, and I'm having some pea soup tonight for dinner. Woohoo! It's a big pan. Habitant. Well, since we live close to the East Coast and the Great Lakes, I'm putting bacon in my pea soup. So mangeurs de lard. That's in the West Coast, or the Western voyageurs used to call the Eastern guys. It's a steady supply of salted pork.
Keep going.
No.
That was good sound effects though.
Probably a little better.
Then you just add smoke that comes out.
Ooh. Maybe a little bit of grease in there.
The front here is probably what's really hot right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yep.
Yeah. Huh.
It's so creamy, I don't want it to stick.
Yeah.
I miss that flavor. The flavor of childhood.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. There's different types too, eh? Like,
Well, there's the ones that you can give it the hand,
yeah,
that, and then, yeah, I think so.
French Canadian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I wonder what's the difference between that one and the Canadian.
I don't know. Let's see. Ingredients. Where are the ingredients? Oh, it's just such a short list that it's water, yellow peas, lard, modified cornstarch, salt, onion powder, spice.
Wow.
That's legit. Like,
Yeah.
that's legit.
Yeah, you
It
can
has
make that
lard in
up.
it still.
You can make that up. The lard is called
Yeah.
But
It's
you
traditional.
You could probably supplement something for the also.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Vegetable oil or freaking.
It might alter the concentration, but then just have pepper or something like that in there.
Yeah. I don't have lard very often, but that's what the fur traders would have had in the meals. They had lard.
Yeah.
So if any of my viewers are from the States, or pretty much anywhere besides Canada, let me know if you have the brand of soup Habitant.
What's that?
I was just saying to the camera, if my subscribers that aren't from Canada, let me know if they have this soup.
Yeah.
I think it's made with quality peas from Canadian farms.
It probably is just a Canadian thing.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, you probably can't find it in the States. So, did you know that
It's made by the Habitant Soup Company. Yeah, they aren't like, yeah. Well, now they're Mississauga. Product of the USA.
What?
It's product of the USA.
Really?
Yeah. All right. So, anybody from the States, let me know if you have this. I'm willing to bet this is a Midwest thing. Michigan, Minnesota. That kind of broke my heart a little bit.
Look at that, they're getting better.
Oh, the rum pouch.
Yeah, the meal. Oh, this is rum in here now?
Oh, no, it's vodka. Here, give me a little.
The meal.
Vodka there too.
Yeah, the second. That. Small peaches?
Yeah.
Little hairy? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said that. I don't know if you trust me. Oh yeah. Alright. Alright. Well, you said you trust me. Yeah.
It's okay. Okay. It's just strong every way possible right now. Mio strong, vodka strong, not water strong.
Oh, that is awesome.
God, that's not 3 fingers of rum, that's 5. I do want to know how big these cups were that they had 3 fingers of rum in it. Was it like this sort of cup, or was it like a little shot glass sort of thing? Or...
How big are these?
I feel like it would be the same size as a standard ceramic coffee mug.
Well, I think we could do like 1 cup, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the measure of 1 cup.
Yeah, that'd probably be, I picture that. In the time before supersized combos and this, yeah. So I'd like to tell the story of pierre-esprit Radisson and Médard de Groseilliers. They were both coureurs de bois and operating in the late 1600s. And these guys came up and explored the Great Lakes and they did a lot of trading. And at the time, furs weren't really known of being a large resource in Canada, or at least a source of wealth for the powers investing in colonization. So these gentlemen went up to the Great Lakes and told the governor of New France and said, hey, listen, we found all these furs, we've met a whole bunch of different First Nations tribes, they want to trade with us, get us in there and we'll get some furs. So they go in by canoe into the Great Lakes, a lot into Lake Superior, and they go around and they trade a whole bunch of stuff. They got all sorts of cool things like jaw harps and stuff, hatchets, all sorts of metal products. They trade and they end up getting furs. So they ended up coming back, I think it was like 1,300 to 13,000 pounds of pelts. So they get back to New France, and because they didn't have a license to be fur traders and a license to trade the First Nations, they were fined all of the profits they made from those furs. So they're a little frustrated and they're saying, hey, the best furs are the sea north of the Great Lakes. These guys have been talking to the Cree, and the Cree were telling them it's better furs further north, more beaver. So they go to New France and say, hey, we gotta go up there, we gotta get some furs there, we'll dominate the fur trade. At the time, there's a lot of turmoil in France and England and Europe in general. So it was hard to get a lot of investment. So they got declined, they got frustrated, they said, screw it, I'm going to Boston. Boston, run by the British. And they met a gentleman there, a businessman. They proposed this idea, so he gave them some funding. They went exploring a little bit, and then they ended up talking to Sir Rupert. And Sir Rupert was one of the relatives of the king at the time in England. And they said, hey, you fund our trip, give us some ships, go into the Hudson's Bay, we'll come back with a whole bunch of furs, make you a rich man. So Rupert was given by the king any of the lands that were touched by rivers flowing into the Hudson's Bay, which is a really large area. It was called Rupert's Land for a long time. So anyways, they get the funding from Sir Rupert, and out of that came the Hudson's Bay Company. And Hudson's Bay Company, I believe, is the oldest company in the world, or oldest corporation in the world. And I think it's pretty neat that it has the roots and guys that paddle up around the coast of Superior here looking for better furs. Well, it got dark out very quick. But anyways, we've been hanging around the fire a little bit. It's been a good day. But I think it's time to go to bed. So I'll see y'all folks in the morning. I don't think we'll have bears come by. Bears?
No.
Nah.
That should be
I think that'd be good. They're pretty busy with the ash berries. But yep, see you all in the morning. Good night.
Teaspoon. Don't think there's much coffee in there. Yeah. Potent one, this one. Oh yeah, but
I'm excited to get heat into my body that is not my own.
yeah, that's pretty cool. My last time, bro.
It was cold last night. Very cold. I don't think I'll be using my hammock with the insulated air mattress in it for winter camping. Matt, why don't you tell everybody about your night, man? Froze too, eh?
Yeah. Well, I had to drag my tent from the campsite that I was at, close to the fire. Made a fire so I could stay warm. Got up periodically during the night. Kept feeding the fire. Gotta stay warm, man.
Glad you had it up going by the time I got up. That was a bonus to that. Yeah. Oh. September's a little unpredictable that way. Sometimes it's warm, sometimes it's not.
Yeah, man.
Last night it was not.
Yeah.
Imagine being a Voyageur and having to get up at like 4 a.m. in that temperature.
Oh,
Like
man.
going like.
Well, you get used to it, eh?
I guess so. Thicker skin than us.
Yeah,
eh?
you get used to it after all of this and every bit of it.
Yeah.
He's spoiled nowadays, really strong, God.
You are spoiled. Oh, that is so good. Oh, that is like a $7 Frappuccino good right now. Is it Frappuccino or is it Fappuccino?
I think it's whatever you want to call it.
Well, I think we're gonna have some breakfast and warm up. Seeing how cold it was and everything, I don't think we're gonna be here too late today. We'll see though how the coffee makes me feel.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna enjoy this coffee and have some of my oatmeal and catch up with you folks in a little bit. Hopefully it'll be a little bit warmer by then.
Whew. Finally warmed up a little bit. Took a couple coffees and a little bit of fire. But I think I want to go home and experience some home comfort heating from my boiler. So I think we're going to start packing up. Well, Matt's already got his stuff packed up. I've been blabbing in front of the camera. I'm going to pack up my hammock really quick and we're probably going to get on out of here. But it was a lot of fun, everybody. Thanks for coming along. But I hope I can teach you folks a little bit about Voyageurs and a little bit how they influence the history of Canada and North America and how they influence me. So anyways, we'll be back out in the bush another time. I think I'll take a little break from history the next one. Might do a little more, maybe something about the science or plants and stuff. But let me know in the comments if you guys are liking these historic videos. I'll keep rolling with it. It just takes a lot of reading.
Peace. See you later. How much?
All right, man.
Let's do it.
All right.